Hey, it's Alice from Just Be Magazine and Jam with Alice podcast. I am thrilled to inform you about the biggest event of the year, the Beyond Beautiful World pageant, happening this Saturday, November 4th at the Atrium in Country Clubs Hill starting at 6 p.m. I cannot stress how important it is for you to be at this extraordinary event. Rhea and her right hand Pam has curated an absolutely stunning event that celebrates the incredible essence of womanhood. Prepare yourself for an enchanted evening as you witness the radiant purple walk and immerse yourself in an unforgettable experience. In case attending in person is not feasible for you, worry not. We will be broadcasting the entire event live, so make sure you secure your ticket now by visiting beyondbeautifulworld.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to some and others already know. All right, her name is Elshawn, and she's an author. Elshawn Russell is an author and a business owner of the Healing Center right here in Chicago, Illinois. How you doing, Sean?
I am wonderful. How are you,
How
Alice?
you doing? I'm doing great. I mean, you had a little problem, and then I'm having problems at the end, and we both was trying to avoid it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you got yours settled.
Life happens. Life happens to the best of us.
Don't play. So I am actually recording live, y'all, on Facebook. I was going to do Instagram, but I didn't have time, and TikTok and YouTube. So,
Wonderful.
how you doing this evening?
I'm wonderful. I cannot
How was your
complain.
day?
It was eventful.
It was eventful.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
eventful.
I would say the same thing. My whole 2 weeks has been eventful. So yeah,
Yeah.
I completely understand. All right, well, let's get started with the show and let's talk. Let's start talking about your book. All right, everybody, we have her book here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so what is the central theme or main message conveyed in the book, Breaking from Bondage? Because I really loved it. So, and I don't want to give too much away. So I decided to ask you questions that so people are going and get the book. Okay.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What did you like about the book?
I like that it was truthful. And I think that I probably wouldn't have shared so much, but you did. But that's your story. And I think everybody have their own story to tell. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's why one of the questions that I sent to you that I wanted to know was, how does your family feel about it?
I don't know.
What?
No.
Have they read it?
I'm sure quite a few of them have. But that isn't what was important when I wrote the book. It wasn't about how they felt. And that's part of healing from trauma. And I think that so often in life, we get caught up in thinking about what someone else thinks. And you have to get to a point in life where you think about what's good for you.
Right. I totally agree.
Because when that's constantly at the forefront of your mind, what someone else thinks about what you're doing, the direction that you're going in, what you've essentially done is giving your power away.
Right. You don't want to do that. Right.
Not at all.
Yeah. So when you wrote the book, what made you decide that you had to go ahead and tell this story?
I just couldn't escape it. I felt totally compelled. Like every day I just had a voice that, and I know now, hindsight 2020, that it was God just saying, write a book. And it was extremely therapeutic. What I didn't realize is that I was going to inadvertently instill hope in so many young people along the way, because and I shared a lot on purpose because it's life. And it's what happens in, the inner city communities of Chicago, in the ghettos, you know what I mean? So we have to be vulnerable in order to truly help people. And that is what I believe has truly allowed me to connect with so many people, is that I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't mind standing in my truth and accepting everything, embracing every aspect of who I am.
So I know it wasn't a ghostwriter because you wrote your own book, Breaking from Bondage.
Correct.
So how did you feel as though you were actually putting it on paper? You lived it, but it's sometimes it can trigger emotions in us as we write it down.
Well, I had a few different experiences writing it. One, being dyslexic, was a challenging in it was challenging in itself to actually write a book, right? So
Mhm.
I was overcoming that aspect of who I was in the process of writing the story. And you know I was just, really shocked at the fact that I had the discipline and the mindset to actually sit down and complete it, because it was a process. And but it allowed me and gave me an opportunity to actually live in the moment and sit with some of those feelings and situations. And oftentimes we tend to sweep them over under the rug, yet we make, permanent decisions on temporary emotions and experiences, right? So we pattern our lives after things that we've seen or situations that we've been through. And it's important for us to go through those experiences and also grow through them and not allow them to become who you are. But that takes time. It takes time, and it takes work on self to get to that point.
Right, and you are so correct. Once again, we are here with Sean Russell. She's an author and a business owner, successful business owner, and you are listening to Jam with Alice. If you're on TikTok and you want to actually see Sean, I'm sorry she's not on there. Go to Facebook and you can follow us on Facebook, or go to YouTube, Jam with Alice, and you'll be able to see the show. And how did the word bondage come up? So how do you find the concept of bondage within the book?
Well, I think it's in every part of our lives, because the Bible says that we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities in high places. And so
Right.
that in itself lets me know that, it's a spiritual battle that is going on. And, if you don't resist the enemy, then, you basically succumb to it. And so it will begin to suffocate you, because you will lose who you are. Essentially, you'll lose
Absolutely.
yourself in the midst of any storm. And it's a spiritual bondage. And again, it always goes back to self. And I believe that when you truly begin to do the work on yourself and take time to pull back the many layers of that onion, you'll that's when the true healing will begin. But you have to put in the work. You have to sit with those emotions, those experiences, and you have to be able to understand that you can give yourself, grace in those experiences. You have to understand that you have the power to edify, to love, to uplift, to encourage yourself in spite of the trials and tribulations that you've been through.
Absolutely. You hit it right on the head, Sean. I'm just gonna call you Sean because I don't know why I want to call you LaShawn.
Yeah, no, it's El Shine. Yeah.
Right,
So
I was doing a commercial and I kept saying LaShawn and I had to keep starting all over again. So,
yeah.
yeah, but it's El Shine. Um, can you highlight some of the pivotal events, turning points that occurred in your story that got you to where you are today? Because you're successful. Reading the book, yeah, you went through something, but you pulled yourself out of it.
So
So,
I
what was
think
the
that
turning event?
every single event was pivotal, especially when I fast forward and I look at the fact that I am a business owner, and I deal with, since the beginning of the pandemic, I have worked and helped thousands of people, right?
Mm,
And so, of course, you're going to be met with several different personality types and issues,
yes.
on a regular basis, but you got to have the skin for it. You know what I mean? You have to be grounded. You have to be rooted. And all of those situations that I went through, they prepared me for this, because all things, not some things, but all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. And so when you understand not just who you are, but whose you are, then you can stand in those storms 10 toes down and embrace it and know that some kind of way this is going to work out for my good.
Absolutely. I totally agree. You hitting everything right on the spot. Um, Can you highlight some ways that the book addressed the issues related to the social injustice that we have and it has. I read it, so can you point out some of the social injustice? How does it help some of the young people that you feel?
Well, I think again, it just inadvertently gives them hope because so many people think that they're the only ones going through whatever it is that they're going through. They're the only ones that are experiencing trauma. But this is something that has plagued us for years in every aspect of life, from one corner of the earth to the other. And it's not going anywhere, which is the reason why we are who and where we are today. Trauma, right? And trauma directly affects mental health, right? And so if you have dealt with all of these situations and you made your mind up to give your power to the individuals that created the trauma, that caused the scars, that inflicted the wounds, and you don't truly understand that you have everything within to transmute that energy and find the silver lining in it, then you'll never rise above it. And that's to me the the greatest thing that I could tell a young person right now is it doesn't matter what it is. Like, we all have a story, we all have a testimony, but you got to make your mind up to walk in it and create a situation where it works out in your good, that it is actually a testimony, and trust the process. You got to just keep going in spite of what it looks like.
Absolutely, because you also have to forgive yourself now, and a lot of people believe that you can forgive a person who have done you wrong, but you also have to forgive yourself, and you have to forgive that person, because if you don't forgive that person, not for their sake, but for your own sake. Do you agree?
Yeah, because unforgiveness is like taking poison and expecting somebody else to die.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, it is, and everything starts with self. And that's what people tend to not truly understand, is that everything around you is it's meant to be a distraction. It's meant to prevent you from sitting still and truly connecting with self and God, self and source, whoever you believe in. It's meant to prevent you from rising above whatever it is that you're going through, and walking in your purpose, walking in your calling. It's meant to keep you in a victim mindset instead of a victor. And you have to, that in which you see yourself in is what will appear. The way you see yourself, like, you have to see yourself. The mind is a very powerful tool, you know
Mm-hmm.
and so if you truly sit with yourself and begin to co-create, then you'll see it in small avenues and aspects of your life. But you have to understand your role, that you're co-creating, right? And all you got to do is see. The Bible says, so what the man thinketh. Your mind is everything. Your mindset is everything. And you also have to walk in a spirit of humility, because when it's out of your control, when it's more than you can bear, give it to God. Just let it go. Just let it go and trust that it will work out for your good.
Right, but how do it can, and just to let some other people know who's going through it, how do you just let it go? Because you sometimes it's one of the hardest things to do is just let it go.
So for me, I grew up in a family that was primarily Buddhist. I was raised in a Catholic church, but
Mm-hmm.
my family studied Buddhism, and so we would have to go to the hall and chant. And one of the things that I learned very early on is that I wasn't going to chant, because I felt that if God wanted me to pray in this language, then that's what I would be, right? And so
Absolutely.
I wanted the intimacy. And so I created my own mantras that I would say in my head instead of the chants that I was being told to say. And no one knew what was going on. But those are different things that you have to put in play to keep yourself in alignment. You have to have markers. You have to have something in which you can measure and keep and stay the course. Because if you don't, then you will fall to the wayside. So it's even as simple as standing in the mirror every day, speaking life into yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Demanding miracle manifestation every day, which is what I do. But these are things that I taught myself to keep me in line.
Keep you in line. Listen, in the book I was reading, and we're gonna go to your business, but in the book I was reading, and one of the things you said a lot in the book was I was looking for love.
Mm-hmm.
And what is something you was forward to other young women when they're looking for love and it's all in the wrong places?
Love yourself,
Mm-hmm.
embrace yourself, nurture yourself, because no one on the face of this earth will ever love you more than you love yourself.
And how do
Right?
you get to that point? Right.
I mean, so it's the simple things. And so for me, it literally took me using my daughter as a standard, right? Because
Yeah.
I had been broken for so long and I didn't know what it felt like. So I knew that in the midst of me dating and entertaining someone, I would say to myself, if this person isn't good enough for my daughter, then why would I entertain them for myself? If my daughter brought this guy home, what would I say to her? You know what I mean? If she was dealing with a situation like that. And sometimes we got to do it because life is life and constantly, right? And
Right.
sometimes we get so accustomed to settling that we don't even realize that we're settling, right?
Absolutely. That is true.
So
That
you
is
have
true.
to have a benchmark. And for me, it was my daughter because I want absolutely the best for her. And I had to use her until I was able to just simply do it for myself, to make those adjustments and assessments without bringing her into the equation in my mind.
Oh my God. You are such a wonderful person. Hey, listen, if
Thank
you all have not got, where can they get this book?
So right now you would definitely have to get it from me. You would have to come to my office, which is the Divine Healing Center, or you can order it through my email
Mhm.
website, the divinehealingcenter.org, and I would definitely mail it out to you.
Okay. And are we making it, are we writing any more books?
Yes, I've written 3 books.
Oh wow, congratulations. And what are those, what are the other two?
So this one's Breaking from Bondage, Wake Up Call, and Turning Point.
Okay. And we can get those books from you as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is Wake Up Call and Turning Point about?
Well, Turning Point is Wake Up Call is it's the process of arriving, right?
Okay.
And once you've been in and experienced trauma for so long, it becomes part of who you are. You don't even realize it. And the unfortunate
I
part
agree.
about it is that you can't fight what you can't see,
Right.
which is why it's important to do the work and even get assistance if necessary. So if you have a counselor, if you have a trusted friend or a pastor or someone that you look up to that you can talk to, it's really good to hear someone else's perspective, because you have to be able to keep it real with self and know that this mind is the mind that told me that it was okay to make some of these horrible decisions, right? So I need
Right.
to piggyback these thoughts off of someone else until I'm able again to get to a place where I don't need these benchmarkers. But you have to put systems in play to keep yourself accountable, to keep yourself aligned, because if you don't, you'll never know, you'll never have anybody to hold you accountable, and you won't even know how to hold yourself accountable.
That part right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. You are so correct. Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, people, if you haven't got the book, I read the book. It's not that long, but this is a heartfelt, and you're gonna feel something when you read this book. All
Mm-hmm.
right. You're definitely gonna feel something when you read this book. Get the book, Breaking from Bondage from Elshawn Russell. Is absolutely, it's heartbreaking, but it's loving as well. Can I say that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that I
Yeah.
mean, it happens though, you know what I mean? But you got to trust the process regardless to what it looks like. Let me tell you this from the book. My mother gave me to a kingpin, right? So I was a part of one of the largest a part of one of the largest drug organizations based out of the city of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward 30 years, some of the recipes that I have been able to formulate that have helped people, deal with a multitude of ailments are a direct result of the time that I spent in the streets learning how to measure things with my eyeballs. Again, what the enemy used for bad, God turned it around for good. And I was able to take that skill set and use it to formulate different teas, herbal teas, and remedies for people that have helped him in ways that are totally unthinkable. So you gotta, you cannot despise humble beginnings, regardless of what it looks like.
Yeah, and which leads right into what your business, which is the Divine Healing Center.
Hmm.
How long have you been doing this? Because
Yeah, so I've actually had my location been there for about 2 years now. But I started at the beginning of the pandemic, right? Because I knew that no one had to die, and I was willing to open up my place and start literally giving treatments out of my home. And for the first time in my life, I truly felt that, you know, paying attention and putting my attention on God's people, with that mindset, he was able to start taking care of my problems because I was focused on his people, right? And
that's
it
right.
just grew into, something more than I could have ever dreamed of.
Wow. And tell everybody what the Divine Healing Center is actually.
So it's a health and wellness spot, and I what we do is we focus on eradicating the spike protein from COVID from individuals because it creates a storm inside of the body. So it doesn't matter if you were asymptomatic, vaccinated, or had full blown COVID, it's there until you actually know what herbs and supplements that are able to do a couple of things simultaneously. One, it has to be able to penetrate the blood brain barrier and eat up the outer shell of the spike protein. And two, it has to be able to detoxify the brains, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys, all of these major organs that the spike protein typically attacks. Now, a lot of people are very familiar with detoxifying the blood. They're familiar with herbs that they can essentially take. Like if they're going to do a drop, I need some golden seal, or I need some echinacea, or maybe even some burdock root. But people don't typically focus on cleaning up the organs. So it's essentially like changing the oil in the car without changing the filter,
Right.
right? Still going to have a problem,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what someone is dealing with. I'm going to put together a regimen and teach you how to bridge the gap, right? So whatever deficiencies you may have, we're going to get those under control. We're going to put together a regimen that will fill in all of your deficiencies, one, and two, we're going to put together a regimen that will begin to kill whatever is causing the problem. And then number three, we got to pull it out. So my motto is build, kill, and pull. And those three things have to happen simultaneously in order to bring the body back into balance.
Wow. And how long you been doing this now?
Yeah, so I've been studying herbs for 20 years now. So yeah.
Right. All right. So that is truly amazing. How do these services contribute to individual overall health and well-being? I mean, do are they open? Are they receptive to it? Do you
Oh,
have to
absolutely.
actually not force them, but talk them into it and to show them that this actually works?
No, unfortunately, because of the pandemic and long COVID, people, there's a sense of desperation, and people need help, and people are in pain, they're suffering, and they're not getting the answers that they are looking for from their medical caretaker. So it causes them to, it's created a situation where they're open, right? And they're willing to try. And so when you're able to come to a facility and you're in immense amount of pain and you may have your walker and you get up and forget that you have it, that is the reason why people refer people, because if it's not completely gone, it will be substantially diminished by the time you leave, the treatment.
Absolutely, absolutely. How does the Healing Center cultivate comforting and stimulating the atmosphere to the customer? Because I love the atmosphere there. I mean, it was relaxing, it was
Yeah.
mellow, it,
Yeah.
it was beautiful.
Yeah, so we use sound therapy and light therapy, right? So, in order for me to work with anyone, I have to create a situation where you are as relaxed as possible because stress suppresses the immune system, right?
Hmm.
And again, the mind. So, if you're scared, then can you think of one part of your body that's like directly associated with fear? The gut, right? So when you're
Yeah,
scared in your mind, something's going on, you're scared, you feel like you have butterflies in your stomach, right?
absolutely.
Well, So a lot of African American people, they don't have gallbladders, they have digestive issues, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of stuff going on with the gut. And that is stress. Stress suppresses the immune system. So, we do have neuro beats, the music that you hear, the soft, tranquil music. That again is to help to bring your body to a point of homeostasis. We have lights in the room, the light therapy to relax you as well. Then I'm going to go in and give you different herbs to help calm the brain as well, such as ashwagandha, right? Because if
Right.
you're stressed, stress suppresses the immune system, you won't heal.
Mm.
If your mind is
Absolutely.
racing while you're on the table, you won't heal. So that
No.
cup that I give you, it has everything that is needed in the supplement packs. So again, I'm building you up. I'm killing what's creating an issue. And then when you go in the room, it's coming out. Period. It's coming out. It can't hide.
No, I can't. Because when I was laying on that table, it was absolutely cleansing for me. For
Mm-hmm.
me, it was absolutely cleansing, and I love it. And I love the part when you first come in, you get consultation. So it's not just throw me in the room and you just do that. And here, I need you to take this. It was actually sit down. We do she did an intake with me, y'all. So
Mm-hmm.
once again, we're talking with Russel. She's the author of Breaking Bondage, and she is also the owner of the Healing Center located right here in Chicago. And it was really the intake was the most important thing. The most
Mm-hmm.
important thing that I found that I enjoyed the most, and it made me trust you
Mm-hmm.
to continue on with the process. And I'm pretty sure some of your other patients consider the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, because my goal is to educate everyone, each one teach one, right? And
Right.
so when I sit down with you, I'm not just sharing this information with you for you, I'm sharing it with you so that if you have, a child at home or elderly parent that's not able to get up and come out, you know what to do to kind of steer them in the right direction, right? And this is information that needs to be passed down from generation to generation. This is what our ancestors did, but we've gotten
That's
away from
right.
it, right? And so, we got to get back to our roots. God created everything that we need to sustain what he created.
Can you share some stories or testimonies that you have received from your own customers or patients
Yeah.
that
So yeah, I mean, like I have a guy that came in a couple of months after being vaccinated at the beginning of the year. He had stage 4 cancer. They gave him 5 months to live. You came to my birthday party. He is up, he is fabulous, and I could not be happier. I have another young lady who started coming to me. Her name is Marie, first of the year. She has lost a tremendous amount of weight. She was asthmatic. Um, Quite a few issues going on. She went to the doctor. She's off all of her meds now. She literally bought me she brought a bag, like a huge bag into the office one day, and she's like, I got a gift for you. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And I opened the bag up, and it was a bag of hospital socks. And I was like, what are you? She was like, yeah. So when clients come in and they don't have socks, I give them socks to put on,
oh,
right? And
okay.
so she brought me hospital socks. And she said, since I've been coming to you, I have not had to go back to the emergency room. And I had a checkup, and my doctor took me off all my meds. So I love to hear stories like that. Um, it just makes me feel good, just hearing
I,
it.
I definitely get it because when I was there, I was feeling good, and I felt so. I slept like a baby when I got back home.
I'm sure.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
did. I slept the whole night, and not one time did I wake up at all.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something else about the healing center that's located over there on 81st and Kedzie. Um, she has it set up for if you have a wheelchair, you can actually
Yeah,
go in there. All right, let's
absolutely.
talk about
Yeah.
that because you
Yeah.
assist
So
everyone.
so I'm sure when you were at the party, you may have seen a guy there in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so he's one of my clients, and I had to think about that because everybody deserves help. Everybody deserves, treatment. And again, we were taught to detox, I mean, to maintenance our vehicles, right? But we were
Right.
never taught to detox our bodies. But we're coming in contact with all sorts of pathogens and chemicals every single day. And so for someone that's in a wheelchair, they need it just as much as someone who's able to walk in. So they're going to be able to come in and get the same quality of treatment that any and everybody else would. And they're going to be comfortable because they can stay in their chair if they need to.
All right. All right. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anything. You definitely didn't miss anything. Is there anything else that we should know?
I really just want people to be vigilant. And I think that at this point that it's important for people to treat everything like it is COVID because it hasn't gone anywhere.
No.
And, you know, they announced on the news recently that we need to prepare for a triple demic, right? So they're releasing other viruses and pathogens that are a huge problem. And I'll just give you guys a gem. So one thing that people should keep in their closets, I mean their pantries and their kitchens 24, like you never run out of it, is NAC. The actual name is N-acetylcysteine, right? And at the beginning of the pandemic, the FDA would not allow Amazon to sell it because it works so well at detoxifying the brains, the lungs, the liver, and the kidneys. And what does COVID attack? The brains and the lungs initially, right? It's remarkable. When it initially came out, doctors used it on individuals who attempted to OD on ibuprofen and or Tylenol because again it works so well at detoxifying those major organs. And that's what we need to do. Detoxing is the name of the game. When you are full of junk and then you get this bug that comes in and invades your body, it's going to wreak havoc. You got to start cleaning out the junk, the fried chicken, the ribs, the chitlins, all of this stuff that we were raised on. It's not what it used to be. They're putting chemicals in everything. So we can't just chop it off as, oh, well, my grandmother, because I hear that from time to time. My grandmother ate chitlins every weekend and she lived to be 110 years old. Well, they weren't putting all the chemicals in it back then. You know what I'm saying? So I can't argue with the fact that your grandmother ate it and she lived, but you got to understand that times have changed.
That's right.
Times have changed, and the things that they're doing to our food, so it's horrible. So you got to detox.
Elsha, and how often should we detox?
Well, it depends on your body. I tell all of my clients to pay attention to your body like you would your baby, right? Your body is going to tell you. So some people literally, like the lady with the socks, she comes in the first Sunday of every month after church. That's it. She doesn't come any more, any less. However, individuals that have been diagnosed with cancer, they come weekly, so it depends on where you're at, what you're dealing with. If it's something that you want to just lose weight, you may be able to come in once a month or once every 3 weeks, but you pay attention to your body. If you actually have an ailment, you need to come in more consistently, no more than once a week, to get that under control. And then you can taper off to once a month or once every other month. But detoxing is very important.
Listen, I love her program as well, because when I was there, I said, well, and most people, they just about the money, which is the truth. But Elshawn, she like, well, there's nothing really wrong with you. You can come maybe once a month or once every 2 months. And she just told the truth. She gave me an honest opinion of what I'm supposed to be doing. And I appreciate that. And I guess you do that with all your clients as well.
I do. And that's why you saw the turnout that you did at the
I
party,
did.
because I am very honest. I am very straightforward. I don't mislead anyone. And if by chance you have a medical mystery, you give me information that you've gotten from your doctor and it's not accurate, we're not getting the response that you need, I have a system that's called bioscan, and it's able to scan all of the biomarkers in your body, and it tells me everything that's going on.
Oh, wow.
Right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's bioscan. Most people charge about $1,500 to have this service. But I charge right now, I'm doing $250 just because, again, I want to help my people.
Oh, and which brings us to, you actually sent over a coupon for everybody, just for everybody to come by and check you out and get the services that you have, which we all definitely need, that I'm gonna say. And let's talk about the coupon. So that's a nice surprise, everyone. She's giving a coupon to come into her place over here in Chicago. If you're in the Chicago area or outside of the Chicago area, come by and see her. What do we have, Sean?
So yeah, so I sent you a coupon for $50 off of a detox treatment. So come in, schedule call. You have to call, you have to schedule an appointment, and then you come in. Listen, I have people flying in town to get treatments, and I can definitely stand by it. Long COVID is real. And
Yes.
though you may not be having symptoms right now, that doesn't mean that they won't manifest later, and or you may be having some weird outlandish symptoms now or issues that you're dealing with and not connecting it to COVID and or the vaccine. And I'm here to tell you that it is a huge problem. It's a huge
Yes.
problem, and what you saw, at the birthday party was just a small portion of my clients, but the love was genuine, and that's because I put forth my best effort with everyone that comes, like
Mm.
everyone.
And she mentioned her birthday party book and her book release. It was actually one of it. It was a lot of people there, and if you spoke to anybody there, everybody said that she's a wonderful person. And I got a chance to meet her, so it
Yeah.
was definitely we hit it off right off the top. So it was really really nice.
Yeah.
Listen, again, we are here with Elshawn, and Elshawn is Elshawn Russell. I'm trying to keep from saying LaShawn.
Yeah. No, it's Elshawn. Yeah.
Elshawn Russell, and with
Mhm.
her book, Breaking from Bondage. So you want to make sure that you reach out to her so you can get the book. I'm gonna make sure I put the information in the description after the show is over, so you can reach out to her. I'm also going to put the coupon that she sent over in the description as well. And I'm gonna post it as well, so you can actually say, "Here's a book." Make sure that you get the book.
Mhm.
The book is actually good. It's from beginning to end. You're not gonna. It's not that many pages. You're gonna be able to read it in one sitting. Believe me when I say.
Yeah.
And then the Divine Healing Center is located where, Elshawn?
It is 3200 West 81st Street. It's right on the corner of 81st and Kedzie. There's parking
Mm-hmm.
alongside a parking lot. And if you are in a wheelchair, you can come right through the back door and roll into the office. So you don't have to worry with stairs or anything like that.
Right. And once again, we're going to post the information. So make sure you just can't show up. Make sure you do an appointment with her. Set up your appointment.
Mhm.
Right. What days are you open and what times are you open?
So I am open Tuesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. But I work by appointment only. I am doing a lot of interviews now. I'm on the radio a couple days a week. So I'm kind of all over the place, but my mission and my purpose is to serve my people. Like, the Bible says my people perish from a lack of knowledge. So I'm just trying to educate as many individuals as I can so that you can prepare.
Yes. And I'm gonna tell you, she definitely served, because when I was there, I got a chance to sit there and listen to everything. And she's from the beginning that you walk in is relaxing. When you come in, you're gonna see her products, but she could tell you about everything that's there. What's gonna work, what's not gonna work. No, you don't need that. You need this here.
Yeah.
She is wonderful. So you need to definitely go and see
I don't
Elshawn
sell you
Russell
products
Healing
that you
Center.
don't need. I don't upsell. If you don't need it, I don't sell it to you. Like, I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
I want to help you. You know what I'm saying? And we're in a pandemic right now. We're in a recession. Things are tight, and I try to be mindful of that every day. And again, my prices, they reflect it. Again, typically a bioscan is about $1,500, and I do it for 250, and the treatments are no more than what you would pay to go and get your nails, a manicure and a pedicure. I go and it's about 125. My services, they start at 150.
That's
So I
right.
mean, I try to keep that in mind because I know that, and then I do offer financing as well.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. So make sure y'all go check out Elshawn. Elshawn, Sean, I'm just gonna call you Sean. Sean, I want to thank you for coming and
It's not
sitting with
hard.
me. I know it's not hard because it just flows out. I'm telling you, when I did the video for the commercial, I'm like, I kept saying LaShawn, I'm like, oh, I gotta start over it 10 times to finally I got Elshawn in there. But I want to thank you for joining Jam with Alice, for coming on the show and sitting with me.
Yeah.
Um, I hope you come back.
I will. Definitely. Definitely. This is great. This is great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So once again, I'm gonna put the information down in the description once everything is all uploaded. It's a live show, but I still got to go in and do the description. So I'm going to put all her information there. I'm going to definitely post that coupon. You have to make an appointment. Just don't show up. Free parking, just street parking. So, and then, believe me, there's plenty of parking over there.
Yeah.
She handles her business very well, where she's spacing out her clients, right? But still, there's enough people that's going through there. So, I am Alice, Jam with Alice. I want to thank everybody that came onto my live. And my final words are, as I always say, find your fire, be true to who you are, and whatever you do, inspire along the way. That's how we're all going to succeed together. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm Alice. I will see you on the next show. Bye-bye.
Bye.